With the advent of airborne troops into the U.S. Army in the early 1940s, they discovered that jumping from a plane into combat really takes a toll on the field equipment. Thus, the Army needed to design equipment specifically for the stress it would endure while not only jumping from a plane, but also in combat situations. We could do a whole series on the many different variations of airborne equipment, but today we will be discussing helmet liners. A helmet basically consists of two components, a steel pot and a liner, and when put together, they make a helmet. In early training jumps, the Army discovered that the standard M1 helmet was not suitable for airborne use, as it was common for the steel pot to separate from the liner while in the air, creating a steel pot meteor, which clearly was a major problem. To remedy this, they redesigned several things on the pot and the liners. The standard loops, which are most commonly referred to as bales, were changed from a rectangular shape to more of a D shape. This steel pot was designated the M2, aka the D-bale, which is incredibly rare to find today as they were short-lived and it was common for the D-loops to break off. They would eventually phase these out for the rectangular fixed loop steel with the M1C chin straps, which are regular chin straps they added about an inch of length to and a snap which can snap inside the liner. And to make the helmet a little more comfortable and improve the stability, they integrated a new chin strap system inside the liner. An inverted A-frame canvas anchor point was installed, with 4 points of connection rather than 2. These are commonly referred to as yokes. These yokes would then be connected by a leather chin cup. With the prices of paratrooper items ever increasing, and wherever there is money to be made, there is someone who will want to find a way to trick collectors out of their hard-earned money. Money. Let's take a look at a real inland paratrooper helmet liner to help you spot the fakes out there. Hey guys, welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to be taking another look at a rare piece of militaria that I recently came across. This is a pretty cool piece, especially if you like helmets. So let's just get right to it. There we go. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. It's just your run-of-the-mill steel pot that some kid spray painted with a metallic spray paint in the 60s that he took from his dad or something. But no, remember, it's what's on the inside that counts always, right? Especially when it comes to World War II helmets. Whoa! Look here. We got an original World War II inland M1 parachutist helmet liner. Paratroopers. Not something you come across every day. I certainly don't, and I look at a lot of military stuff. So it's a cool, really cool piece. I'm glad to be a caretaker of it for a brief moment anyway. And right as rain, everything about this is 100% correct, because with paratrooper stuff, for every real one, there's 100 fakes of almost anything paratrooper, especially helmets. But we're going to go over a few things here to kind of teach yourself what to look for if you're on the hunt for one of these and not sure if you're looking at a real helmet liner or not. Because this one was a one licker, especially if you've done your research. As I said, this is an inland paratrooper liner, one of, I think, 3 manufacturers that made factory-made paratrooper liners. I think St. Clair made a style, Hawley made a style, but those were low-pressure liners. This was the first high-pressure M1 liner produced for paratroopers, anyway, and made by Inland, and I think Westinghouse also did factory paratrooper liners. So if you got the way to tell that this is a factory made piece, you take a look at the A yokes. One, you're going to want to see the OD number 3 khaki on these straps. If it's an inland, you want this color of strap, and you're going to want to see the A yokes going under the A washers here. And you're going to want to see age or no tampering of these A washers as well, because Inland made regular liners, and you could easily stick, somebody could age a nice pair of A yokes and replace these, which not everybody will do to dupe collectors. A lot of reenactors like to be authentic, which I understand, so they will take liners and have them converted to Paratrooper, and those are usually pretty easy to spot if you've, like I said, done your research. And knowledge is key in the collecting world of any collecting, especially when you're looking at helmets of $1,000 plus. You're gonna want to do your research. So my point there is, if you come across a liner that has A yokes and they're okay, for in this example, if it's an Inland liner, if it's OD number 7, you know, the dark shade of OD, what most people actually think of when you hear OD number, or when you hear OD, because you hear OD number 3 and it's actually khaki to the eye, but it's an olive drab. If it's an Inland, if you're looking at OD, you're probably, chances are you're looking at a fake liner. 2, if you're looking at a Paratrooper liner and these A yokes are going under these washers, and it's not an Inland or a St. Clair or a Holly, which those ones are really easy to spot by themselves, and the washers are different, or a Westinghouse liner could also have this, but again, I believe those would be a darker shade of OD, and these clips would be a little different. So the other manufacturers like International Molded Plastics, General Electric, can't remember any other manufacturers off the top of my head, but they didn't produce any factory made Paratrooper, but there is a possibility they could have had rigger made liners, so you can't automatically dismiss that. But that's going down another rabbit hole. We're kind of more talking about these right here, so this is what I got in front of me. Another indicator that I always look for if I'm looking at a Paratrooper liner is you want to look at these rivets on the outside. Right here, the rivets holding the webbing in. Now, generally, if somebody's faking or making one for a reproduction, they're only going to remove this rivet and this rivet. So these 2 rivets, right above my fingers here, because that's where the A yokes attach under the A washers. So what people would do is they take these rivets out, they replace them to add the A yokes to give it a more authentic look if you're a reenactor, or if you're a shady individual just trying to fool collectors. But you can usually tell because these rivets will be either a different color than the rest or look newer. So that's a good indicator there. In some cases, they could even, if they're really good at what they're doing, they can use the original washer. So you'll want to look on the inside, look at the actual crimped part, because you can tell when they've been messed with, so to speak. Now, unfortunately, this one has been chewed by a mouse, but that is repairable if you wanted to. And the leather, the sweatband has seen better days. It's a bit dried out, also chewed by the mouse. And also, if you're looking at a rigger-made one, what the big difference is going to be, the A yoke is not going to be under these washers. It'll more than likely be placed up here with its own set of rivets of some kind. They're done by the riggers of the Paratrooper regiments themselves, and I think most of those I've seen were used rivets, but I've seen other methods for attaching them, but you always kind of can question those. But it's a possibility you're going to see inland rigger made ones. You can see pretty much any manufacturer from what I would understand, but mostly Westinghouse, because they were one of the big ones. But as far as I know, these would have been the most prominent kind of helmet liner that would have been used during like D-Day, Normandy. So that's kind of cool to think that this is a piece that could potentially have been at Normandy, or one of those major battles, so to speak. But yeah, it's just a really cool piece of history. It's just something you don't get to see every day, so I thought I'd share a little bit about them, what little bit of knowledge I have on them, or at least I knew enough that I knew this was real. This was a one-looker for me. And it did come with this pot, which is a fixed bail. We'll talk a little bit about this now. And I had a name in it that is possibly researchable, but I'm not going to show that up at the moment. But we got a fixed bail right here, and it doesn't have your what you would see at and it doesn't have M1C chin straps, but that doesn't necessarily mean that these aren't an original pair that went together, because it was fairly common during the war to actually to see these married together a lot. So that's one thing. Some purists like to say, well, if it's not an M1C, they didn't go together. That's not necessarily true. These helmets, you can tell these have been together a long time. Whether they've been together since the war, I can't say for certain, but they've certainly been together a long time. But like I said, it also doesn't mean that this wasn't the original pot that went to this helmet. Unfortunately, like the liner, it's been painted. I think this could possibly be an original unit or rank marking, but it's hard to tell because somebody spray painted it with like a metallic-y copper paint at some point. Sometimes it's usually done by kids, like their dad brought it home or whatever, and then like in the 50s and 60s they were like, I want to make this cool, I'm gonna camouflage it like I'm John Wayne and Sands of Iwo Jima or something, but so yeah, there we have it. And it's got a 419 heat stamp number on there. So there you have it, guys. There's a kind of a close look at a real Paratrooper liner, so maybe you can know what to look for when you come across one, or if you're in the market to buy one or something like that. I hope this was helpful to somebody, or at least interesting. Because like I said, it's just something you don't get to see every day. I was excited to find it, so I'm excited to show it off and show you guys. And I just wanted to throw in a quick side note. If Paratrooper helmets are something, or helmets in general are something you're looking to start collecting or get into, I highly suggest getting reference material. This is an incredible book. It's helmet porn, basically, but it's also a very information-packed piece of reference material by Michel Detrez, who's a collector. Many guys in the community will know who that is. This book is absolutely incredible. Like I said, it's got some great helmet porn in it. I'll show a few pictures. Opened right up to the 517 page, my favorite page. I got a cool thing to share one day, by the way, when I get it dug out, about this helmet. I think it's this helmet. But anyway, it's got pictures of originals, all sorts of really great reference material, and it teaches pretty much everything I talked about in this video. I more or less learned from this book, and just from being in the collecting community for a long time. And I think I got a couple more helmet books. It was with any hobby, if you're going to be putting money into it, you want this kind of knowledge to not get burned, more or less, because in this hobby, where anything that's worth money, big money especially, it's going to be faked. So you want to know what you're looking at. So there's just a quick side note for you guys. This book's probably on eBay or Amazon or something wherever you can find it. I think it's probably like a $100 book, $80 to $100, somewhere around there, worth every penny. So there you go, a little bit of a penny for your thoughts. So thanks for tuning in, guys. If you like this video, please click like and subscribe. Small guy looking to build this channel, so please give me that like. And hit that bell notification if you want to see when I upload more videos, you know, the whole spiel, yada yada, YouTube this. But again, thanks for tuning in, guys. Catch you later.